What is up, guys? Charles from Team COG here, coming at you guys with my updated Flame Swordsman Infernoble Knight deck profile. So I'm going to go ahead and come out right now. This is like my third time trying to record this dang video, but Flare Swordsman and Flame Swordsman is tongue-tied me a little bit, so if I end up mispronouncing one of them, don't roast me. It's my mistake, but I got tongue-tied with them. But anyway, guys, welcome to the channel. My name's Charles, and I'm here to bring you a updated list from DUAD here, featuring the Dark Flare Swordsman. If you guys have been able to keep track of my streams, you know I've been testing this quite extravagantly, except for when, you know, Necross came out and stuff like that. And sadly, with the oncoming nationals here in the United States, in North America, I should say, we have just been busy. So I want to get this out to you guys. Just use this deck profile as a blueprint, a skeleton, if you may. Build your decks the way you want to. Nothing I ever say is gospel. But also, we cleared 10,000 subs. A huge thank you to you guys out there who have followed the journey here. We should have been here a long time ago, but I don't, you know, life algorithm, you just, you know, name it, kept us down. But we finally were able to beat it, and we're going to do a giveaway. So keep your eyes peeled in the community posts so that you guys can get entered into that giveaway. I'm going to have to think about what I'm going to do and everything. So yeah, also remember, if you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button, ding that notification bell, and if you guys always want to help support the channel directly, hit that join button, become a member. Every little bit gets put into the channel. Also, don't forget, if you also want to help support the channel, again, check out Dueling Guard. We're proudly sponsored by them. Use code COG to get 5% off, or use the link down in the description below. And I think that's enough of the talking. Let's just go ahead and jump on into the deck profile, and I'll explain some choices and stuff on the way. And please know, guys, if you guys ever want to get more explained details, give me when I'm going live. You know, normally when I live stream, I'm there for you guys. So if you guys have further, deeper questions, just hit me up when I'm live streaming and ask me those questions. I'll do my best to get them answered to you. So anyway, we're starting out with triple Dark Flare Swordsman. This card should have been a hollow man, a foil, something, but Konami decided not to do it. So now it's one of the commons in the deck, along with Malgus. But this card's pretty crazy. For those who don't know, you can send it's pretty much circular for Fire Warriors, but you can send a monster list Flame Swordsman in its card text to the graveyard from your extra deck, summon it, and then quick effect, you can tribute itself as cost to allow your opponent to discard Ash Blossom. Pretty cool effect, yeah, it's pretty wild if you ask me. But joking aside, if they don't have Ash, you are able to summon a monster from your main deck that lists Flame Swordsman, but it cannot be a level 6 monster. Just to kind of sum it up, that's not word for word, but yeah, this card's really cool because it does allow you to put a body on the field. It's 22, but then you have like Museum up, it becomes 27, and then the quick effect to tribute out allows you to apply a lot of damage and stuff. It does kind of make the Flaming Flame Swordsman a one-card combo, low ceiling combo, which before we really didn't have. But anyway, yeah, this card should have been a super or something, man. Konami did us dirty. Moving on, I'm playing triple Fighting Flame Swordsman, and I'll go ahead and touch base on, let's just go ahead and pull out all the cards in one Salamandra here for monsters. So this is it for the Flame Swordsman monsters. I tested a list where you played one Flame Swordsman, one of this, and it was a condensed version of the package or the engine to kind of mirror what the wanted package gave us. And I found myself really rather opening like these were superior starters than the boxers. And the reason I say that is, yes, the Battle and Boxers have produced a one-card combo that has fluidity with your entire deck because they're Fire Warriors, but they don't trade well into hand traps. Whereas the Fighting Flame Swordsman, it kind of does because it has two effects. This is the closest card that Fire Warriors have right now to a Neptibus-like starter, because it does two things. Your opponent literally has to Ash one of it in impermanent Ash to stop this card from literally adding 2 Book of Moons, which is really crazy. And Salamandra here is just, essentially, you can just throw this card as being a third equipped spell in the deck. That's pretty much what it's there for. This card on normal special adds you any spell or trap that lists the Flame Swordsman. If it's sent to graveyard, you can send a monster that lists the Flame Swordsman from deck or extra deck, and of course you can send the Salamandra. Then Salamandra, when sent to graveyard, allows you to search your Salamandra spell or trap. But this is it for the, well, hang on. Then you have the triple Fighting Flame Sword, which again, in my opinion, this right here was like wanted. But you have triple Fighting Flame Sword, which allows you to search any of your monsters. It also allows you to search any card that you can have for your hand that mentions the Flame Swordsman. And then it allows you to protect one of your Flame Swordsmen from being targeted. And when a Fire Warrior monster declares an attack, you can destroy a card. And then we're trying to play the 2 traps here with Salamandra with Chain and the Flame Swords Dance. You could get away without playing the Flame Swords Dance, but you just lose like your layer disruption that way. It does suck seeing these cards. These are probably the 2 cards in the entire deck you don't want to see, but arguably every combo deck is playing cards you don't want to see. Sometimes it never hurts to open one of these because you don't have to search it. This deck does kind of get hurt by Droll, or this engine does, but you do have some pretty cool aspects that you can normal summon the Fighting Flame Swordsman, and then search the Fighting Flame Sword, and then if they try to Droll you, can chain the sword to Droll to search whatever you need, whether it be the Dark Flare Swordsman for another body, whether it be searching the Flame Swords Dance to be a disruption. There is some flexibility under Droll But yeah, so that's it for the Fighting Flame Swordsman engine. Like I said, I played it at a really condensed engine, and I didn't like it. Just this card right here, being able to facilitate half of an Angelica without taking your normal summon is pretty cool. And I plan to show a combo video showcasing Flare Swordsman plus all the noble names, essentially, to show you what I'm talking about and just to discuss like that type of thing. But yeah, that's it for the Flame Swordsman side of it. Pretty, you know, let's see here. I think it's 3, 6, 9, 12 cards. So a 12 card engine, which is pretty big. But now we're going to move on to the Infernoble Knights. Maybe one day Konami will bless us and give us our own starter. But until then, we got to, you know, rely on fire supplementary engines, whether you want to keep it pure and keep with Fire Warriors, or if you want to go off and play the different other variations such as the Malgus. And I think I saw a Lunalight variant floating around. So, but anyway, moving on. In this list, since the Flame Swordsman stuff does not facilitate an Angelica by itself, you do have to play a higher count of tuners if you want to be able to get to Angelica, which we played double Renault, 1 Oliver, 1 Turpin, 1 Ogier, 1 Malgus, and 1 Ricciardetto. Honorable mention is the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, but these Infernoble names right here, the Renault and the Oliver and the Ricciardetto do come up. I know some people have cut Ricciardetto because without OSS, and being super searchable, there's no need in playing it, but this card is still pretty good in my opinion. It's a powerful extender to search, a solid normal summon, and especially since you can put a level 4 on the field, thanks to the Dark Flare Swordsman, which is also searchable, but there's 6 copies of it in the deck. You have consistently ways to do it without committing your normal summon. So it's okay to like normal summon, you know, special Dark Flare Swordsman, summon out to level 4, search, normal this, synchro to Angelica, and then you have this to be able to banish from the graveyard as extension if need to be, or, you know, later on follow up. But Renault is still like the best one to have. It's the best extender this deck has. I still think that if you're going to build this deck and you want to utilize all the engines and have fluidity and not have hands where you open Renault plus non-Fire Warriors, so this card literally just sits in your hand and it's not a tuner if you don't use its effect to special summon itself. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think this is pretty standard. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys a combo showcasing literally the Dark Flare Swordsman with every one of these cards. Not minus Gearfried, because Gearfried is just there by honorable mention, but every one of these cards showing you guys what 2-card combos the deck has. That's it for the monsters. We do play triple Heritage of the Chalice, which is why you can get away with playing the 1-ofs, because literally this card is Renault is a 5-of, Oliver's a 4-of, Turpin's a 4-of, Ogier's a 4-of, Malgus a 4-of, Ricciardetto is a 4-of. Actually, they're 5-ofs because of Rhoda, so just do keep that in mind. But this card can add from Graves too, so you can kind of play underneath the Droll if you need be. But this card can also be belled, so take that in mind. Double Museum, 1 Durandal, and then 1 Almas. Not really much more can be said. This is literally been kind of, I think, the lineup ever since we've kind of slimmed down the list, and the deck list has been kind of tweaked. So pretty standard by now. 1 for 1 and 1 Reinforce the Army. These cards I don't really count as engine for either, because Rhoda can search out your level 4 Flame Swords. It's search out your whole deck, right? So it makes every name you have be 1 more. 1 for 1 is really good because, again, with playing Ricciardetto, you're able to extend out into it to be able to summon it out from the deck. Once you eat a bunch of hand traps, 1 for 1 Ricciardetto, bring back your level 4, make Angelica combo. You could definitely cut this card. You don't have to play it, but it's just a very powerful extender that I thought that it's pretty much OSS without OSS, so like we might as well play it. If OSS was at 1, you would still play it, right? So 1 for 1's at 1, so yeah. Moving on to the non-engine. So this deck can play a lot of non-engine, but the non-engine I've chosen works well with the deck, and I'll explain that when we get there. But you are more than welcome to change out the cards that I am currently playing, because I don't think they're like inherently strong in this format, but they're good options for this deck. So like by all means, change them out. But for the most staple, we do play Ash Blossoms to hit the chummies. That's pretty much it. That's all that Ash really kind of serves as, here and there you can, swing it at your opponent when you're going second to like stop a search or something. But most of the time, this card's here to counter the chummies. Infinite Impermanence. I've heard this card's been losing favor, but I don't know. Like, I feel like you should always just have Infinite Impermanence. Like, this is the standard hand trap lineup until Konami decides to do something about it. Now, I play Triple Effect Veiler, and allow me to explain why I play Triple Effect Veiler is because it's a hand trap that's a normal summonable hand trap that gets you to combo. So if you open a bunch of non-engine plus Dark Flare Swordsman, and Effect Veiler is one of them, you have full combo right here. Because you special this, special out, normal summon the Effect Veiler, it's a level 1 tuner, so you have combo. Pretty much it. It's also non-once per turn, so if you have multiples, you can just throw them. And then here, I'll show you guys the Nibiru, the Primal Being. I'm playing this card instead of, you could potentially play Droll. Droll would probably be actually better, to be honest with you. So if I were to take this to probably a locals or an event, I would probably take Nibiru, but if I was gonna go to anything higher than locals, I'd definitely probably trade out Nibiru for Droll. But the reason behind playing Nibiru is Nibiru puts a body on the field so that you can equip your equip spells too to search out other things, so it's just, that's the reason to play Nibiru. You should probably, if you play Droll, you could potentially play, Droll. Indominus, Impulse should also be in here somewhere, but I feel like Impulse will shut you out of the Nibiru. Oh, no, and excuse me. Yeah, Nibiru, Impulse shuts you out of your light monsters, so light and wind, I believe. So that just, I felt like that was conflicting with these, since especially I want to, I mean, worst case scenario, you can normal summon the effect veilers, but I didn't want a card to conflict with 3 or more cards in my deck. So anyway, these are flexibles, play whatever you want, but these are put in here because they have utility with the deck's engine in itself, being a level 1 tuner, putting a body on the field to be able to equip stuff to be able to do your searching and everything. For the last bit of non-engine, I have the 1 cross out, the 1 call by, and the 1 triple T. You play the Holy Trinity, especially if Droll, since Droll can kind of hurt this deck, you do have some lines underneath Droll that gets you to like 2 or 3 disruptions underneath of it. I felt like maybe main deck and Droll wasn't totally necessary, but you could, I feel like if your deck hard loses to hand traps, you should probably play those hand traps if you're playing cross out, just so for the off chance that, you know, you can cross out that hand trap. Essentially, like if, you know, if we hard die to Droll, which, you know, like I just said we don't, but in the situations that sometimes we can, because the deck is super consistent, and that's the, you know, that's the payoff with super consistent decks is, you know, we get cooked by Droll, is that you should probably play Droll, so in the off chance you do open cross out, you're able to cross it out. But these have become staple, and I think in almost every deck in some form, maybe in two of, you know, this too, but I feel like the trinity of like anti-hand traps need to be played, because yeah, we're just getting to the point where decks are getting so insane that you have to play a lot of hand traps, but we're also getting to the point where hand traps, you know, also are getting pretty outnumbering out there, so we need to be able to have the way to counter it. So this is 14 cards here. The 15th card is Baguska. I just couldn't find my spare one. I didn't have time to move it over, so just remember the 15th card will be the Baguska, the Terribly Tired Tapir. But this is what I've got in testing. Double Charles. This is pretty standard, right? The Angelica, the Roland, and the Synchro Charles. This is pretty standard. Potentially, I don't know how many times I've literally went against like Cashier Unicorn, they've never ripped any of these out, which I thought was super funny. But if it does happen, you can pivot your plays and you can potentially still do other things. That's what's good about the Flame Swordsman stuff, is you're able to still get disruptions without having to go into your Infernoble Knight stuff, even though the bridge is there. 1 Flame Swordsman, 1 Ultimate Flame Swordsman, 1 Fighting Flame Dragon. A really cool thing with the 2 traps is the 2 traps give you access to this card in the follow-up, so then you're able to crack them. You're able to turn 3 push for a lot of damage because of the Ultimate Flame Swordsman. You're never making this, I mean, there is certain ways you can make it turn 1, essentially by searching it and then using Charles to pop the set Flame Salamander, the Salamander with Chain, then you can like fuse with it, but most of the time, you're not going to be able to make this turn 1. This guy's like a turn 3 clap, you know, ending the game right there, which is really nice. But these are pretty cool cards nonetheless, in my opinion. Hida, Promethean, the Amblo Whale. The Flame Swordsman engine does not bridge to Infernoble, so I wanted to make sure that I would have some sort of combo sequence with them by themselves instead of just ending on like SP with a trap. So this, sometimes if you just open the Flame Swordsman, you can use like these cards to potentially make your line of the Amphibious Whale with a set Promethean, and then you're going to be, that's like 2 or 3 disruptions, because you'll have 2 Book of Moon set along with the Promethean pop and then the Amblo Whale pop too. So again, this is like, I think this card's flexible, but I just don't feel like the effect where normally used to, we put Promethean up here and then pop it with Charles comes up enough. So I wanted to get mass utility out of the Promethean, being able to reborn something and go into the Amblo Whale. It hasn't come up a lot, but it has come up a few times. And then for essentially the utility, 1 Relinquished, 1 Little Knight, 1 Dempsey, and like I said, over here should be the Terribly Tired Tapir. I'll add power of editing, he'll be here, hopefully. But Relinquished is here because of essentially a combo sequence with Ricciardetto, but sometimes you open Ricciardetto, you link it off, and then you're able to continue to make some combo lines that way. I think it's Ricciardetto plus Museum allows you to get to Amblo Whale with the 2 trap set, I think. Don't quote me on it, I'd have to like run through them all. But anyway, SP Little Knight, staple, we get Warrior locked. Battle Boxer Dempsey, though, is no longer like a crazy bridge. It does come up in a lot of the other sequences, which you'll see in the combo video. But yeah, this is it for the deck profile. Like I said, I'll show you guys some 2-card combos in a video going out later. And I will probably hopefully take this to go versus locals so you guys can see what it can do and everything. And yeah, remember, you guys stay safe, stay healthy. This is Charles on Team COG, signing out.